In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Lindsay Powers. She's sailing over as the Vice President of Marketing at Stack Construction Technologies. And at Stack, they're basically, working on a great home construction estimating software, right? So the timelines, don't basically fall over and the planning is under control. So today we want to really deep dive with Lindsay into what Stack is all about, how she's thinking about growth for the organization, and a little bit about her journey as a marketer. So Lindsay, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Of course, yeah. So maybe give us a quick 360 overview in your own perspective. What is Stack all about for people that haven't heard about it?
Yeah. So Stack is a cloud-based software platform. It's really built for commercial construction contractors. We deliver solutions that aid in both the pre-construction and the construction phase of a construction project. Pre-construction is the phase where many contractors are bidding to win the work on a specific project, right? And Stack helps our users to save massive amounts of time in that process and also ensure that they're bidding accurately, right? So that when they win the work, their business is gonna profit. And then construction obviously is the phase where the project comes to life. And so Stack helps teams who are in the field to manage all of the critical workflows that happen during the construction of a building. Could be scheduling, progress reporting, connecting field and office teams to make sure that they're reducing or omitting risk that might pop up that would impact their safety or their budget or their timeline.
Okay.
And so our solutions being 100% cloud-based, it helps our users to ensure that they can access the software anytime, anywhere on any device.
Mm-hmm. That is a very clear and succinct overview of what you guys are doing. Who would you say, how would you describe the organizations that benefit the most? Do they need to have a certain size, a certain amount of, planners to it? Maybe give us an insight into what is a great fitting customer.
Yeah, so Stack was built by a subcontractor for subcontractors. Although we certainly support many general contractors, custom home builders, we're really built on the rails of what a subcontractor needs. And oftentimes in the construction space, especially, a lot of technology is built for the GC. And so subcontractors a lot of times have to adopt tools that weren't specifically made for their business and their workflows. Stack is different in that we were created specifically with subcontractor workflows and needs in mind. We're not trade specific, so a roofing contractor or a concrete contractor or a landscaping contractor, all of them can use Stack very much in the same way and derive a lot of the same value. It's time savings and more efficiency, more accuracy. And ultimately better business gains at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And I would say in terms of size, we work with the smallest of the small and the biggest of the big. We certainly have a concentration in kind of the SMB and mid-market space, but that's an area of growth opportunity for Stack in the future.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Now, who would you say, is it actually the actual subcontractor that is picking up the platform, or is it somebody in the operations team? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. I think it depends on the solutions that they embrace, right? So on the pre-construction side, a lot of the time the user is the head of pre-construction, an estimator. They're the ones who are measuring the plans and really understanding what it's going to take to build that project and get the proposal and the quote out to the general contractor who's put it out to bid. On the construction side, it's a lot of people, right? I think about a typical construction team has crews in the field, people in the office, project managers, field crews, and so they're all users of the software in different ways.
Okay, very cool. Now, how do they learn about you guys? That's interesting. What's their journey looking like? Because they're obviously, out and about a lot, it sounds. How did they learn? What's their journey looking like of getting to know Stack?
So Stack is built on what we refer to as a freemium model, right? So our team, my team specifically, is really highly focused on demand generation that aims to drive interest and traffic for both our pre-construction and construction tools. Mm-hmm. And the freemium model allows us to give them an idea of, a real world example and sample of how those tools might work in their process and might actually impact their business. So in terms of how they get there, we focus a great deal on SEO, SEM, partner marketing, direct marketing. All of it is about driving traffic and ultimately for user conversion. chances are if a subcontractor or a contractor is out there searching for, what's a better way to, to submit a winning bid, or how can I do my takeoffs faster, or how can I connect my field and office teams during a construction project, they're going to find either really relevant content that our team has developed to help them, guide them through that process, whether it's evaluating technology or just simple steps to take advantage of to drive efficiency. Or they're going to get right to a paid ad from us that hopefully helps them to try the software and see what it can do.
Makes a lot of sense. Very interesting. Now, you mentioned actually basically everything points to the page. How do you as a marketer think about the website? Like, what role does it play? And also sort of where do you see its major strengths at the moment versus where do you see maybe even room for further development?
Sure. Good question. So it's our front door, right? It is the most important way that somebody can come and learn about all the things that Stack can do. I think one of the things that it does really well is to deliver really relevant thought leadership content. I mean, our content team is killing it on making sure that we understand the big challenges of our potential customers and our current customers. And sometimes that has to do with our software and sometimes it doesn't, right? Some of the things, labor challenges, supply chain challenges, all of those things are really important to our customers. And so addressing that on our website is super important. It helps them get there. It helps them to feel like we're delivering resources and we understand their business and their needs. But again, it's our front door. It's probably our most important tool. And I think we do a great job, like I said, of the thought leadership and then delivering, helping other people to see people just like them getting value out of the software and understanding what it can mean for their business. I think our website does a really good job of that. Stack's grown significantly over the last several years. I mean, we've kind of been in this rapid growth phase for the last decade. And as a result of that, right, some of the things that our website isn't doing as well as it could is describing all of the things that we're bringing to the table. We've grown through acquisition. There's a lot that's changing and a lot that's really exciting. And so, we're constantly working to refresh and optimize the message that we deliver so that it's personal to the visitor, so that they understand what they came for is readily available, but also that we can introduce them to the other things that we can offer, whether that's on the pre-construction or construction side.
Is there actually something over the years that you figured out or maybe learned or just picked up in your journey as a marketer when it comes to actually driving those conversions that you mentioned there? Any tools, methods, approaches that you found were actually helpful in order to, be compelling and drive people from the website to, getting started?
Yeah. I mean, I think, so SEM and SEO are kind of pillars of driving the right kind of traffic and continually pulling the levers and optimizing our keyword strategy and our search strategies to make sure that we're delivering on the value of what people are searching for has been our number one for a long time. And I think, the other part of once they're there, it's the conversion optimization stuff that we really focus on. We have chatbot technology. I mean, we're doing a lot of the same things that I would assume most SaaS companies are doing at this stage, but, personalization of content to make sure that they feel like we really understand their business, getting in touch with somebody, whether it's a live person or just a guided kind of step through to get them to the right place, using chatbots or even live chat. Is something that's worked really well for us. The other thing is content. I mean, we drive a lot of traffic and, not everybody's ready to just dive in and take it for a spin. It's a little, especially for some of our customers who are coming off of a very manual process, the idea of technology in construction is still relatively new to some people. And so it feels very overwhelming to just dive in without a whole lot of guidance. Although I think our inbound team does a wonderful job of guiding people through the process, but they're sometimes just not ready to take that full leap. And so helping them and delivering relevant content, meeting them kind of where they are in their journey has also been another really useful tool for us.
Gotcha.
And that's something that we deploy with tech.
Makes complete sense. Yeah, super interesting. So, we talked a bit about the product. We talked about how you're thinking about the journey and the opportunities that you even see in that journey. I would love to switch gears and talk about you as a marketer a little bit, right? Because there is so much content out there for marketers to consume. There's this podcast, there's many other things. Where do you personally find high quality information? What's your go-to places to keep on growing as a marketer?
That's a great question. I think there's a ton of great resources. Obviously, I'm getting probably at least a dozen, if not 2 dozen emails or newsletters to my inbox every day with all kinds of things from SaaS marketing to just traditional marketing. And while those are certainly helpful, I think actually LinkedIn does a really good job of kind of marketing minute, breaking down small topics into bite-sized chunks that I share with my team all the time. And I'm probably a little bit more traditional in that I like to learn from people that I trust, right? So I have a really wonderful network of other marketers, some of whom I've worked with and some of whom have advised me. They've been on our board or I've been with them in other companies, or they're just, a friend of a friend, or maybe in a leadership group that I participate in, and going to people who have been there, done that, or might be experiencing the same things has really been a pillar in how I've grown and developed myself and my team, because it's one thing to read through, best practices or things that are, trends that are coming for 2023. And that's all well and fine and good, but really sitting down to understand real world kind of impact and strategy and tools with people who are doing the same thing, kind of just in a different way, has been the most meaningful way that I learn.
Makes sense. As we're slowly coming to an end of the interview, I would have some rapid fire questions just to get to know you and your journey a little bit better. Are you ready for those?
Sure. Go for it.
Very good. What is the last book that you read?
Oh gosh. I'm currently reading Matthew Perry's autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I think Good to Great, I revisit regularly.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What's one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Oh, good question. I think accurate data. Having really, Stack is incredibly data driven, and so we use technology to collect critical data at every stage of a customer's journey, from initial evaluation all the way through to subscription renewal. And that's not to be creepy or overbearing, but we want to understand their biggest pains so that we can position our software to alleviate those. And so having really accurate firmographic and demographic data is mission critical for our business. And I think it gives all of our teams, whether they're reaching our inbound sales organization or our customer success organization supporting them, gives them a better chance of understanding the uniqueness of their business and how our software solutions can impact and improve on the processes that they're trying to impact.
If there would be no boundaries in technology, you have a magic wand, what's the one thing that you would fix for your role as a marketer?
Fewer GDPR regulations, maybe. I think a lot of the advanced kind of the tracking. I know that it's probably a very highly sensitive topic for a lot of people, but as a marketer, we have a lot of restrictions that prevent us from really understanding who we're talking to, and privacy is really important, and I support it 100%. But as an organization, like I said, the data that we are able to acquire only helps us to help them in a more meaningful way. And so I think if I could wave a magic wand, I'd alleviate some of those restrictions. I mean, even down to email tracking is not what it once was, right? So it's hard for us to effectively measure exactly the impact of our tactical kind of execution sometimes, but important. But I'd like to lessen it a little bit if I could.
And we do a bit of time travel, right? Let's go back to Xavier University, right? You're heading out of formal education into the world of marketing and growth. What's the one advice you would give yourself?
Stepping back and hiring smart, right? Like it's a really, really important thing. And when you're in a rapid growth mode, which I've been fortunate to be in most of my roles, it can be really tempting to hire quickly in order to alleviate bandwidth issues or, find somebody with expertise that I might be lacking. And, with people being the greatest asset of an organization, it's just really important to take the time to find the right ones, to find the best ones. And earlier in my career, I wish I would have had that advice and somebody in my ear telling me that, because I think it's never a good thing for either end to make a bad hiring decision. You can't, it's really costly. It's really challenging for both participants. And I think if you can slow down and find the right ones for the company and for the role, it'll save you a ton of headache.
Very, very good. Lindsay, I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be guest on Platform Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about Stack today, what's the one thing people should remember?
Stack is the cloud-based software platform that every contractor needs to save time, win more, and grow faster.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathwing Presents.
Thank you.